Today we're here with Virginia Duncan, and we're talking about the Duncan v. Becerra case, but more importantly, the woman behind the case. It's important that all of us realize that people who stand up for your Second Amendment rights do so often under a lot of stress and duress. And so we just want to have a conversation with Virginia Duncan. So some of you considering maybe being a part of a case to stand up for your Second Amendment rights in the future know what that's really all about. Virginia, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. You and I have spent a lot of time for the past decade getting to know each other and working together for Second Amendment rights and teaching people hunting. One of the questions I wanted to ask at this point in the Duncan v. Becerra case, are you happy that you made the decision to become a named plaintiff in this case?
I am very happy that I took a public stance, and I really wish more people would, because I have learned that it can take one person to make a difference with a lot of help from a lot of other people that stands beside you. Because when I reached out to over 300 people, every single one of them said no, they didn't want to fight the bill that was getting ready to pass. So yes, I'm very happy about it, because once I learned that people who are grandfathered into the regulation in the state of California of owning standard capacity magazines would become automatic felons, that I didn't believe in that. I thought that was wrong. So I went ahead and jumped on the case.
Virginia, that is great to hear how you came about that and the depth of the thought that went into this. But having went through this process, what have you learned about yourself from this experience?
The only thing I can think to say on that one is what I've learned about myself is one person can make a difference. That's the only thing I can think of is one person. I learned that me taking this step forward and fighting for something that I believe in, that I know is also right, can make a difference. The bad thing is, though, is now that we're all just sitting here waiting, because we want it all to be finished so that everybody can start buying standard capacity magazines. I know the media calls it high capacity, but it's not. It's standard capacity. As you know, California's been neutered. They have. And I know a lot of people just want it to be, this is it. Okay, we'll lift the ban. Now you can buy it. But it only covers the states that are under the Ninth Circuit Court. I myself want it to go to the Supreme Court because I have a feeling it's going to go good, which means it'll be law of the land. And that's where I want to see it go.
Virginia, my next question is, do you consider yourself a Second Amendment activist?
I don't know if I consider myself a two-way activist. I mean, I go out and I recruit. I talk to people about the Second Amendment, how it's our right and why we should be allowed to carry. There's so many people just from the media's perspective, guns are bad and it's evil and it's the devil, when it's not. So to me, I go out there and I recruit and I tell them. I also get political and tell them to pay attention to everything that's going on as far as what bills they want to pass or try to stop you from having. So if that's being a Second Amendment activist, then I guess I am.
Having said that, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who was seeking to become a Second Amendment activist in today's current trends?
The only thing I can think of right now is if you get discouraged, because you will, to not give up. Because there's so many things that happen, and there's times where I'm either signing petitions or having people sign petitions or going out there and talking about stuff or trying to, tell people that it's not a dangerous thing, that they have full control, and to be patient. As far as hearing the other side, why they don't like a firearm. Most of them say, well, I was just raised not to be around it, that it's dangerous and I shouldn't touch one. And then when you start educating them, they realize that it's not what they were taught at all. So for them to just not give up and to keep on going.
The conversation with Virginia Duncan goes much beyond what happened in this video. For those of you that wish to hear the entire conversation between myself and Virginia Duncan as it relates to her role in the Duncan v. Becerra, which is the Standard Capacity Magazine case, go to our podcast at the link below to hear the entire discussion. And also, I want to do a shout out to our wonderful partners in this case, Brownells. For those of you looking for parts and anything else dealing with your firearms and keeping your Second Amendment rights and being able to pull those triggers out on the ranges or on the hunt or in your competitions, Brownells should be your first stop. Why? Because Brownells is working with you, the firearms owner, to win your rights back here in the state of California and across the country, and put $50,000 donation into this lawsuit and others like it. And we just want to do a shout out to the people at Brownells because they have stood up and stood with all of us. Thank you, Brownells.